Welcome back to Origami Snowman. My name is Matt. I'm going to continue talking about Elantris and my thoughts as I read it. I am not far, not much farther than I was last report. I'm on like page 80, so I think I've read 35 pages maybe. But two little things. Okay, Hrathen, I don't know the priest. I can't pronounce his name. Hrathen. He's a really interesting character because he's trying to find a way to, like evangelize to not his people, to the people of this town, this city, this nation that he hates. He loathes them. And if they don't come around to his religion, they will all be slaughtered. He has not said that he wants to prevent the slaughter. That has not been stated. And his actions and a lot of his attitude suggests that he's going to do due diligence. He will make an attempt. He's not gonna, give him a watered down gospel. He will do his best, but honestly, he's fine with them being slaughtered. He doesn't care one way or the other. He'd prefer them to be slaughtered. He hates them. So, but he's going to give him a chance. He's taken this to the king, and the king has been like, I'm not interested. Sorry, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're preaching to the choir of a different church, sort of thing. So that made him angry, but he kind of expected it. He's like, wants to be angry. The princess, Serene, anyway, she has found, like, her uncle is there. She did not expect him to be there, and she is spending time with his family, and that's all very sweet. It's nice. Brandon Sanderson is really good at kind of putting a character in a lonely place, but then, like, giving them a little respite. And I appreciate that, because I don't deal with anxiety well in a story. I don't like that. I don't like those moments where the main character, even though he is completely right and completely capable, is embarrassed and shamed. I just don't like that. I think I faced too much of that same thing in my life growing up, and it's just a little too much to bear. So I don't like a ton of that in my stories. I'm not good, if I'm writing that in a story, I'm not really good at drawing it out. So I like to give them let them come up for air every now and then. And so Brandon Sanderson, he does the same thing. And so Serene, I think that's her name, she found her uncle and his family, and so she's got a little connectivity. She's not completely alone, and that's kind of nice. The prince, Raoden, is that his name? Raoden has his little mentor, I think Galadin. I'm not going to go flipping through and looking for the name. And he's sort of learning the ways. He's learning, he's got the disease that once made them gods, but has now made them demons, sort of. And they have this power that no longer works, but it's kind of still there. He can draw these shapes, and he's trying to draw out the power, and it can't. It's just not working. But I kind of see where that's going. He's asking all the right questions. And you can kind of see where it's pointing. We're going to go and we're going to try to solve this. We're going to look through these books, and we're going to find the answers, and we're going to save the day, and there's going to be, somebody's going to be pushing against us, and we're going to push back, and they're going to have to unite all the people, but they got to convince them that I kind of have a glimpse of how it's going, and I'm all for it. I love it. But I want to talk about Hrathen, the priest. He says two things. He has two lines, and they're very similar. And this is his plan is to break the people so that he can save the people, or say he did his best and let the people die. But one line, he says, the first step in taking control of a nation, Arteth, is the simplest. You find someone to hate. That is uncanny, because that is precisely what has been happening in our own nation lately. And I'm not getting political. That is not my goal here. But it does seem very similar. Both of these plans seem very similar. We gotta give each. We turn the sides against each other. We lie to them. We tell them, Hey, you're Team A and you're Team B. Team A, this is why Team B sucks. Hey, Team B, this is why Team A sucks. You should have heard what they said about you. Hey, Team A, they think you're a bunch of wimps. They think you're a bunch of sissies. Hey, Team B, do you know what these guys are doing over here? They're making you look like fools. It's just a whole bunch of back and forth. And if they can fight against each other, then you can control them so easily. The last line in that same chapter, he says, eventually, no, hang on, sorry. Delaf, he says, of course, your holiness, we will destroy them then. And he says, eventually, right now, we will use them. We will find that hate, you will find that hate can unify people more quickly and more fervently than devotion ever could. That is precisely what is happening in our nation right now. They're using religion, the Christian religion, which historically, at its root, not politically charged religion, Christianity, but biblical Christianity, at its root is about love and is about kindness and compassion. Historically, nations have used it to move the people to acts of war and violence, and it has been manipulated and abused. And there's a core group that remember what they're all about, but the hard thing is you see so many people swept up in the current of their religion, and before they know it, they're running down a path of devastation and destruction and hatred and greed, and it's us versus them, and they forget that it has never, ever been us versus them. It has been us with them. We carry them along in our moments of strength. They carry us along in their moments of strength. We were going to have strength. We're going to have weakness. We need to be there for each other when we each experience weakness, because we can't do it alone. We've been given each other, and we need to protect each other, and we need to help each other. But you cannot control a people if they're working together. That is, anyone seeking power or seeking, like self-service, they don't want the people working together. That is the last thing they want. So that is precisely what the priest Hrathen is doing in this, because he wants the people divided, because he can't preach to them if they're united, and they won't be easily defeated if they don't accept his teachings if they're united. So either way, he needs them divided. So they will either accept his teachings or accept their punishment. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm suddenly seeing that very relevant parallel. Anyway, if you've read Elantris, don't spoil it for me. I'm actually really interested. So there we go. But if you have thoughts, or if you are annoyed that I'm tying this into the current crisis, I'd love to hear about it. I'll ignore it, but I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the pieces. I love you to death, and I will see you in the very next video. So long.